Hey there, my name is Harrison Greenough. I'm a realtor in Maryland, and I'm making a video series here to help you guys figure out how to put in a really strong offer and, in general, what the offer contains, and explain each document so that you fully understand it before you sign those documents, and to help, for example, buyers and sellers that are working without an agent to understand them, because ultimately, although I am a real estate agent and I write these contracts every day, I want you guys to have the ability to understand them even if you aren't using an agent. So look through our videos, rewind them, replay them, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me directly. Thanks, and let's get started. FHA financing addendum. Addendum dated to the contract of sale. This will be whatever the date was that this addendum is being written, or if it's being written with the offer, then you can go ahead and put that date. Between the buyer, you want to put the full name as stated in the contract of sale, and then the seller as stated in the contract of sale. For the property, known as the full property address as in the contract of sale. The contract is contingent upon buyer obtaining a mortgage insured by the Federal Housing Administration, FHA, and is secured by the property as follows. 1. Loan details. So we have the mortgage insurance premium. Now, to get this number, we're going to illustrate a hypothetical example. So we're going to say that you're purchasing a house for $100,000 to keep the numbers easy. Let's say you're using an FHA loan and you're doing the 3.5% down payment. So to get your 3.5% down payment, you go ahead and do that from the total purchase price. So 3.5% of $100,000 is $3,500, $3,500, right? So let's say your mortgage insurance premium is 1.75%. So to figure out this, we're going to need to get the base loan amount. So the base loan amount is going to be, in this scenario, $96,500. Okay, so $96,500 is the base loan amount. And we got that from taking away the down payment from the total purchase price. So we deducted $3,500 from $100,000, and we got $96,500. That's our base loan amount. So from our base loan amount, if our mortgage insurance premium is 1.75%, we're going to take 1.75% of that $96,500. So you're going to pull your calculator out, and you need to get what the mortgage insurance premium is on this. And now if you do the math, go ahead and pull out your calculator, and you do that 1.75 of the loan amount, which in this case is $96,500. You're going to get $1,688. So now we're going to go ahead and put that $1,688 on our mortgage insurance premium amount here. We're going to put the base loan amount here, which we already said was $96,500. And then the total loan amount is really easy. You just add those two numbers together for a total of $98,188 will be your total loan amount. Now the loan program is just going to be FHA X years fixed. So if we're doing a 30-year fixed, we'll say FHA 30-year fixed, right? So the term of the loan, in this case, if it's a 30-year fixed, you put 30. If it's a 15, you put 15. Usually it's a 30 years, so you put term of the loan is 30 years, and then the initial interest rate. So whatever interest rate at the time of writing that you currently have as understood. If it needs to be changed later, you may, but this is just stating what the initial interest rate is. The buyer agrees to pay lender loan origination or discount fees of, so this is where we're going to put what the discount fees the lender is charging. So if the lender is charging, say, 1% in discount fees, that number is going to come from the base loan amount. So if the base loan amount here is $96,500, then it's quite easy to get, 1%. So 1% of that number is just going to be $965. So $965 would be that 1% discount fee. So if it's 1%, you'll go ahead and put 1. And then it says here, the seller agrees to pay loan origination / discount fees of whatever percent. Usually they don't pay any, so it would be 0. But if they decided they want to pay some of those discount fees for the buyer, then you would put those there. Now it also says that all loan insurance premiums as required by lenders shall be paid for by the buyer. This is standard practice. By accepting a loan agreement whereby the interest rate and loan discount fees are not being locked in, the buyer accepts any of those changes in the future. So if it's not locked in yet, we don't know what exactly the final interest rate may be. So a buyer is understanding that that may change in the future here. 2. Monthly payment. So your monthly payments will be the PITI, which is the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So your principal is the amount that is going towards the house. Interest is the interest that the lender is charging you. Taxes are the taxes that are assessed by the government. And then insurance is the insurance on whatever's being insured here. You have those 4 items plus any other small things such as assessments or charges, etc., certain types of flood insurance. So this is going to be included in those monthly payments. 3. Loan underwriting. The buyer and the seller understand that the lender will have to resubmit the loan to underwriting if, from the time buyer's loan application was approved to the time of settlement, if there are any increases to the interest rate and/or loan origination or discount fees. So, if things change, the underwriting might have to change as well. 4. FHA mandatory clause. It is understood here that the buyer shall not be obligated to purchase the property if the property does not appraise for the amount stated here. So this blank spot is basically what we're going to put as the purchase price. So if you bought it for $100,000 and before it was appraised, you're going to put $100,000 here, right? So if the property does not appraise, then the buyer may back out of the contract. As it says here, the buyer shall have the privilege and option to proceed with consummation of the contract without regard to the amount of the appraised value. They may have the option to do so. So if it does not appraise, the buyer may have the opportunity to walk. So if it appraises for $95,000, now the buyer has the option to go ahead and purchase it at the $100,000 by supplying an additional $5,000, or they may walk out of the contract. This is mainly to protect buyers in the case they purchased a property without a real understanding of the value, and once it appraised, they learned that it wasn't as valuable as they thought, and now they might not be able to consummate the contract because it didn't appraise. So there are a lot of intangibles here, and this is mainly to protect the buyer. And then the buyer and the seller will initial there on the end of that page. 5. Mortgage insurance. The buyer agrees to pay mortgage insurance premiums as required by FHA regulations. The mortgage insurance premium must be paid at the time of settlement in cash or included in the loan amount. And in addition, a mortgage insurance premium equal to a percentage of the loan amount must be paid monthly thereafter. Item 6. Wood destroying insect inspection. In all transactions involving FHA financing, all fences and outbuildings shall be included in the inspection and certification. So you'll want to get an inspection here, right? We want to be sure that there aren't any termites or something like that. Item 7. Lender required repairs. Now this discusses basically what the options are in the case that there are lender required repairs, which in FHA financing there sometimes will be. So say for example there's a railing that needs to be installed for the buyer's safety. If that's the case, then the lender will come back and say, okay, this is all fine and good, but it's contingent on there being a railing installed. This addresses who's going to pay for that. So generally you'll want to add a small amount that the seller is going to pay if that occurs. So say $500. If the railing costs more than $500, we have some options, but if it doesn't, then this will basically satisfy the agreement. The seller will go ahead and install that and everything will be fine and good. Remember that this cost is in addition to everything else the seller might be paying. So should the cost of required repairs exceed the repair amount, as we were saying, A, the seller may elect to pay the total cost of the required repairs, at which point everything is fine. Item B, the seller may terminate the contract with written notice to buyer, which must include a written estimate of the cost. This must be provided within 5 days. This is very important because sometimes people do not follow the time of the essence rule, because time is always of the essence, so we have to get these documents transferred as quickly as possible so people can make an informed decision. C, the contract shall remain in full force and effect if within 5 days of the buyer's receipt of that notice that the seller just sent, which included a termination document. The buyer may elect in writing to pay the difference between those costs. So if the buyer really wants the property and they say, okay, it costs $700, heck, I'll go ahead and pay the extra $200 and you can pay the $500. The buyer may elect to go ahead and do that. D, if neither the buyer nor seller elects to pay the excess costs of any required repairs, the contract shall become null and void. 8. Certification. Seller, buyer, and brokers hereby certify that the terms of this contract, which this addenda is attached, are true and to the best of their knowledge and belief. Any other agreements entered into the parties with respect to the purchase and sale of the property has been fully disclosed and is attached to the contract. Item 9. The buyer acknowledges receipt of HUD Form 92564CN entitled, For Your Protection, Get a Home Inspection, and the buyer must initial there. It's always important to get a home inspection when you buy, guys. So be sure to get a home inspection because you don't know what's in there. All other terms and conditions of the contract remain in full force and effect. And the buyers and the sellers will sign there and date. And then if you're using a listing broker, go ahead and put the listing agent's name, signature and date, buyer's agent's name, signature and date, and then any cooperating agents or brokers' names and dates. Thanks again for watching. If you have any questions or you would like to talk about potentially buying or selling a property, please feel free to contact me. My information is below and I would love to reach out to you and talk. So feel free to contact me and have a great rest of your day.